20 weeks in 1 day, and look at this little baby. Look at that. That little bump. You're more than halfway. 20 weeks in 1 day today. Yesterday, we found out it's a girl. Oh, it's so cute. The aftermath of Daddy's shoes. And his pants. Definitely a girl. Look at that. Well worth it though. It's a girl, you see it? It's a girl, so cute! So, super excited that it's a girl. Honestly, I am extremely surprised that it's a girl. I feel like I could have sworn like up and down that it was a boy, and it's a girl! Oh my gosh. I'm super happy that it's a girl. You know, we didn't really have like a preference, but in reality, Christopher really wanted a girl. And I didn't mind having a girl. My family really wanted a girl. His family really wanted a girl. And I don't know, like, but I just had this feeling that was a boy. And some of my symptoms were about a boy. I had dreams that it was a boy. And then, but see, the last 3 days before the reveal, which was yesterday, I started having like these thoughts like, what if it's a girl? But then I'd be like, nah, I have to stick with my gut. Like, I think it's a girl. I mean, I think it's a boy. But I did have one dream that it was a girl, and it was just it was like a little girl that looked like just like me. But then all my other dreams have been that it's a boy. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't think about it. The Chinese calendar though, however, did say it was gonna be a girl. And a bunch of people say that like that's what it predicts. Like that's a really good like, prediction was the Chinese calendar. But yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a girl! I'm super excited. It's just so weird to like, even yesterday after like we saw everything, like all the pink and stuff, like I was like, oh my god, I just kept saying, oh my gosh, it's a girl. What the heck, it's a girl? Like, I think like even right now in this moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a girl. Like, it's so crazy. Like, but yeah, it makes me like super emotional because like, I don't know, like I just, obviously we love this baby like no matter what it was gonna be, but like I think like putting a gender to the baby definitely has helped me, I don't know, like feel like I can imagine my life more with the baby, if that makes any sense. Like like seeing this little baby being born and putting a bunch of big old bows on her, and like even seeing her and like, oh my gosh, like, you know, just having this little baby girl, little pigtails, like running around and like having her daddy wrapped around her finger, which she already does. But I'm so excited to finally know that we're having a baby girl. And I'm just super excited for like the continued journeys and the continued steps with this baby girl. And it just makes me so much more real. And then last night, oh my gosh, well I guess I should say this morning. Today's March 8th, by the way. Last night, like at 5 a.m. So I've been feeling the baby kit. Oh, well, okay. So I'm 20 weeks already, 20 weeks in 1 day today. Today's March 8th, 2020. And everyone's like, oh, have you felt the baby kick? Have you felt the baby kick? I'm like, no, I don't think so. And it's because I've been feeling like, it's on the side that she's at, but I feel like little pains, but they don't hurt. And I feel like, oh, maybe that's the baby, right? But, and then so then like a couple days ago, I told Christopher, I was like, you know what? Maybe I am feeling the baby. You know, you are feeling the baby. Like, you have to be feeling the baby. But everyone was like, oh, it's like flutters. It's like butterflies. It's like, you know, bubbles. It's like, it feels like gas. And I'm like, okay. But the feeling that I was feeling was not anything like that. It was like legit, like little pains. It's hard to explain. Well, last night at 5 o'clock, Christopher woke up at 4 to go to work. And like at 5 o'clock, I started kind of feeling like my stomach freak out. It's kind of like how I could best describe it, but it was on the side that the baby girl's at, and it just felt like it was kind of tweaking out. You know, like when you have like a calambre or something, and it's like your nerves are kind of like tweaking out. I don't know, but it felt like that, and I was like, huh, weird. And then I just like, you know, I just kept going to sleep, and then I felt it again, and I was like, what the heck? And so I just kind of like felt it a little bit, and then I felt like I felt something through my stomach, and I was like, wait a second. And it went on for literally like a good like 15 minutes. Like it would stop for like a couple seconds and then start again, but that was like on and off like 15 minutes. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I think, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that feels like the flutters that people are talking about. Like, I think I'm feeling your kick, and it was so cool. And then I immediately like text Kristen, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm feeling the baby kick. Like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling her kick. It's so cool. And it was just like so mesmerizing, and like I was like so into it. I didn't want to move. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to like make her stop. Like I just want to keep feeling it, you know? But then again, I was super tired, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we had a party last night, you know, for the gender reveal. Now I can't go back to sleep, and the time went forward last night too. But anywho, like I went and I got the fetal Doppler, and I started listening to the heartbeat, and it was so cool because it caught her heart, like her beats per minute, and then it like I felt like the little flutter, and when I felt the flutter, like the number kind of like got lost, like the beats per minute got lost, and then I was like, what the heck? And then I just like kept it there, and then once it stopped, I caught her heartbeat again, and her heartbeat was like higher beats per minute, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's moving. And then I don't know if she like that made her kick again, like her hearing my voice, and then she like it lost like the beats per minute again. But in the moment when it was losing the beats per minute, I could literally feel like a strong flutter, like literally kicking right here, right now. So funny. She kicked again. I can feel her kicking. It's so cool. And honestly, that happened for about my 5 a.m. until like 6:30. Like on and off, on and off, on and off. And like maybe like every 20 minutes I felt her kick. Or punching or whatever she was doing up in there. But it was super cool. It just made the weekend even more special. And especially because, you know, like now I know it's a girl, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel her kick, and I feel her, and like it just makes me so happy, you know? Yeah. But I think like I'm thinking about a lot is like the actual gender reveal and like how that went down, and it was a pretty crazy day. Like it hasn't been raining all week, and then, you know, a week ago it said it was going to rain just on Saturday, and I was like, Saturday, really, on the party? Like really? And like the morning of we woke up, it wasn't raining. It looked cloudy, but me and Christopher decided, oh, you know what, like we're just gonna put everything outside, you know, and back up, we'll put things inside. And it started sprinkling, and it was fine, and I could put up some tents, like it was good. And anywho, long story short, like right when we finished everything, we put everything up. I put like a baby like grass wall up with balloon arcs, everything, put the tables together, put all like, you know, little fiesta decorations up, everything we finished, everything. I was already ready. It was already 2:10. Everyone was supposed to get there at 2:30, or was gonna start coming at 2:30, and it started raining harder and harder and harder and harder. Legit started raining so hard, and I started kind of like feeling like, wow, like this kind of sucks, right? Because like we had everything outside. I knew people were coming with babies and kids, and I knew they weren't gonna want to be outside, and I felt like the inside wasn't really decorated, and I started kind of getting like anxious. And thankfully, like my husband, Christopher's co-workers' wives were like helping me out, like trying to get a dessert table in here. My mom was trying to help me do that as well, and just trying to improvise everything as people were coming, as people were arriving. And I was just like, oh, it was just like a lot, right? And I just tried not to stress about it. I was like, you know what, like the most important thing is like finding out the baby's gender, you know? And it ended up being amazing. Like it was on and off showering, you know, but when it came, then it stopped raining for like a really long time. And then we decided, okay, like it's getting dark, you know. We were waiting for a couple friends because they hadn't got there yet. And we're like, you know, once they got here, we're like, okay, you know what, like we should do it pretty soon because it's gonna start getting dark, you know. And so we go outside, we take like a team boy and like a team girl picture. And right when we're done taking, as we're taking the picture, like there's nothing in the sky, like it's just really like a lot of clouds, you know. And literally as we're done taking the team boy team girl picture, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, like look at the sky, look at the sky. And this is literally like as Edgar's preparing everything. He's preparing the balloons, he's preparing the powders, preparing the cannon bombs, like he's preparing everything. We were literally just waiting for him to come out so we could just do the surprise reveal. And we looked up, I looked up, and like I saw like the brightest rainbow. Like I can't even explain it. It's just the most brightest rainbow, and I just like it kind of got to me. I'm kind of thinking it's like kind of getting to me right now, but like it got to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a rainbow, you know, like this little one's our rainbow baby, you know, because we lost our twins. And then my mom was like, there's two of them, there's two rainbows. And I just like looked up, and I just like, one was super like rich, vibrant colors, and the other one was kind of like a little bit faded, but there was definitely two, and it was like above each other. And my friend Marie just really got to me because I was just super thinking about it, and I was trying not to cry and stuff, you know, but like it just got really in my head, you know, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like in my head I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like this is like a sign, you know, this is like so beautiful, so perfect. And like the timing, it rained, and the only way we would have seen those rainbows is like if it rained. And like they say, you know, if it rains, like it's like a blessing. And it rained on our wedding day too, but and I was just like, but I didn't say anything. I just was kind of like holding it together. And then I looked at my friend Marie, and she was like, her eyes were like getting red, and she was like, it's your twins. Oh my gosh. It just really got to me, you know. Like in a good way, you know, like in a good way, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, and I told her, I was like, stop it, don't say that. But like literally, I just like, I tried to hold it in, like, it just came out, and then and then she started crying, like her tears came out, and then like I just like lost it. And this is like literally in the midst of like everyone is already outside, like we're literally just waiting for Edgar to come out, and I just couldn't hold it together. Like I was just like crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my makeup, and I was just like fixing myself, and like I kept turning around, like I didn't want anybody to see me crying because I didn't want them to think anything was wrong. But like everybody saw the rainbow, like the both of them, and everybody was like out there with their phones, like taking pictures of it and stuff. And
a double within a double, and another one on top.
yeah, no. It's just so cool. I definitely believe that. Like everything happens for a reason, and I definitely believe that it rained on that one day because, you know, it was like the twins' way of saying that, you know, they were there. And that they're, you know, they're watching over us. Man, oh my gosh, it was so emotional. But anyways, like, I do believe that. It was like the twins, you know, saying that they were there, and that they were part of it, and that they were watching over us, and that they legit picked this little girl for us. And it's so cool because I got this onesie that says for her. Before I knew she was a girl, but I got this onesie for her that says like handpicked for Earth by my siblings in heaven. And I just kept thinking about that. I was like, wow, I believe that those rainbows were like a sign from that. That not only were they like a part of yesterday, but that just a reminder to us, like, hey, we're here, It was definitely an emotional day, but in a good way. And then, I got myself together, and like, I remember another friend came over, Emmeline, and she was just like hugging me, and she was just like, oh my gosh, like I thought about that, like, and I just like got myself together, and I was like, dude, like she made me, I was kind of joking about it, she made me cry, like she's saying it was the angels, and then I like composed myself, and then everyone was kind of like looking at me, was smiling, and like some other people, other family members like also got tears in their eyes and stuff. Like I don't know if it's because they see me crying or if it's just because they like felt like that emotion and that like specialness, and then I don't know where my husband comes out. I don't even know where he was that whole time, but he came on, I seen him, and I was just like, babe, like look at there's 2 rainbows, and he was like, oh my gosh, like that is so cool. He's like, what's wrong? And I was just like, Marie made me cry. But I'm really glad I had that moment, because it felt like I was just like super busy the whole day, like it's good to just like have that visible, that like visual, that like they're with us, they're in heaven, and they're watching over us, their mommy and their daddy and their sister. Anywho, and then so we got against the wall. We told everybody like what to do and stuff, and they got in front of us. And Edgar, although he was supposed to get a cannon bomb, like a smoke bomb, and helium balloons for the dogs, so they can be the ones that surprise us. He ended up buying a soccer ball, a confetti cannon, and blew up some balloons, like with an electrical machine that I had. So it definitely wasn't what we planned, but I didn't even care. I was just like, I'm just excited to know like what baby is, and just like felt very blessed and grateful, for like what we had seen and just everything, God, everything happens for a reason, and God knows what He's doing, and His timing is just so perfect. And so like we got to get, we got everybody together. We got the drone finally working after like technical difficulties. Got the drone working and the GoPro going, and Matt taking pictures, and Luca got scared. And it was like, Luca doesn't want to come out, he's hiding in the corner, and I was like, oh. And then finally Coco, like, he got Coco, and he's like, alright, Coco's gonna go out. And so we counted down, and it was like 1, 2, and then like before 3 even hit, all you hear is like, oh my gosh, and one of those voices was my sister. And I at 3, like literally both Christopher and I, we went to go do what we're supposed to do, right? He puts the ball to go kick it, and I'm literally twisting the cannon already, which did not go off for me, but as like I'm hearing the screams, I'm like twisting and looking at Christopher, I see the pink come out of that soccer ball, and I was like, what? Like literally, like. It's funny because like there's really no video that like, captures my reaction when I look at the confetti, at the powder. And there's just me going like this and like looking, but like it gets so smoky so fast, and there's like really no like pictures that are like mine and Christopher's like react. There are some like really blurry ones, which I'm gonna keep because it shows like our reaction, like when we looked at each other, we were just like, oh my gosh, like we are just like surprised because we both thought it was a boy. You know, deep inside we did really hope for a girl, but at the end of the day we just wanted a healthy baby, and especially after it happened with the twins, and we are really happy that it's a girl. We would have been happy with a boy, but we are extremely excited about a girl. And my family's excited about a girl, his family's excited about a girl, so much to the point that we didn't even really have like an immediate like moment. Like we went to go hug each other to like, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, and as we were going to do that, like my father-in-law comes and he's like jumping up and down, he like grabs me, he grabs Christopher, and he's like, oh my god, oh my, and we're just like, oh my gosh, you know, and then we went to go leave, and then my mother-in-law came, and then my mom came, and then just like a bunch of people, and then like we kind of had like a little moment, like when we hugged and we kissed, and then more people were coming, and there's just like, and this whole time it was like, ah, like clapping, and like, honestly, I could just like, I still feel like that vibe, you know, and it's just so fun, and it's definitely going to be a day that I'm never going to forget. And a day we're going to make sure that our baby girl knows about. And then we started watching. Oh, and the other thing that was so funny is that everybody had powder on them. Like I had powder on myself. Christopher had powder on his poor shoe. Like was done. Like it's like a pink boot now. Like little babies had powders on their faces. Like people had powders on their hair. Like powder was everywhere. Like everywhere. It's so funny. Like I don't think anybody left our gender reveal without a pink dot on them, because at least a pink dot on them, because like powder just went everywhere. And then we eventually got the cannon to go off, you know, and like that was cool. Like even though the light went off later, it was cool because it was just like we had kind of settled, and then we saw it, and I was just like, wow, like for sure it's a girl, you know. And we made Christopher kiss, and we hugged, and like we just are happy, you know, and everyone's really happy. It's a girl! Oh my gosh, it's a girl! I don't think it's super sunk in. Like, I definitely am having to get used to saying her. But I'm so excited! I'm already like, I feel like knowing her gender is like helping me imagine my life or our life with her, if that makes any sense. Like, I am more able to like imagine like a little baby, you know, with the big old bows on her, because you know I don't think she's probably gonna have a lot of hair. But Christopher and I are not very like hairy people, but or like, you know, like a little girl with little pigtails and she's like running around, or you know, or like dancing, and I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. So excited. It's definitely a blessed day, and I'm just super grateful for everybody who was a part of it, and like all the joy and love that we felt, and I'm just like really grateful to be parents again to this little girl. This little girl. I have an appointment next week, and I'm just super excited because I was just like in 5 days, but super excited because I just want to see her. I want to see her again. I want to see her moving, and I want to see how beautiful she is, and I just want to see her. And I'm just so grateful to be her mom and this opportunity. Just for like being able to like have a gender reveal and being able to just do this, you know, and to our baby girl, like we love you so much already. Yeah, we haven't like actually met you, but like we love you. And your daddy loves you so much, and we're so excited to continue growing with you and to continue getting to know you as you're in mommy's womb. And our favorite part is definitely going to ultrasounds and seeing you get bigger. And this most recent one that we went to, you know, which was about 3 weeks ago, you were very grouchy. So it'll be really cool to see you again and to see, you know, if you're in a better mood. but we love you no matter what, and we're just so grateful to be your parents and that you're our daughter, and we promise to be the best that we possibly can as parents to show you, life and to be humble and grateful and be loving, and we'll make sure that by your siblings, and we just love you so much, baby girl, and we just pray that you keep growing and that you keep staying strong and healthy, and that we get to meet you in July, and it will be the beginning of the rest of our lives with you. It's a girl. We love you, baby girl. We love you, baby girl. Yeah, I'm just super excited for all of this, for all these journeys, all these little steps that we're making, and just grateful to be going through this journey of motherhood. But yeah, excited, super excited. It's a girl! So excited.
How'd it feel though?
Weird?